Hi everyone, so we are just looking at the April. What I've done in April, this is kind of to remind myself what I've done in April 2021. To be honest, it's just laying some track. Here we've got some track, it goes around to a certain point and then I am just made a bit of a temporary loop. Some of this is not actually glued down, it's just pinned in place so that I can run some locos, and hopefully you will be seeing that footage and this in a little bit of a top corner somewhere so you know what I'm talking about, because I think running trains may be a little bit more interesting. So I've been just laying the loops and I did have a couple of issues. This is a little bit close, especially when you're running the 800s and the 43s at the same time. They did knock each other, so this has been adjusted just here, and you would have seen just over here. Again, I've had to adjust that because they do get a little bit too close. So all this track you can see now is basically loose. It's just tacked in. As you can see, it's got just a little bit of movement in there, but it is pretty much loose there. Some of it is glued in here. So I've done a little bit of work. Most of these droppers are, as you might just be able to see, they are not actually connected to anything at the moment. So all the trains that you can see running are being powered by just a couple of droppers in a certain place. The reason I wanted to test it was to make sure that everything ran over here quite nicely, which actually they do, which is fantastic. And just around here I put that Superelevation in. Now you may be able to see that on some of the video footage. I'm thinking that when I do the far end, just over there, and when I get around to doing the upper layer, I may actually go for a 1/2 mil 1.5 1/2 mil to actually make it just that little bit more exaggerated so you can see it. Now that may be not prototypical. I think there is actually, I was trying to look this up, there might be about 150 mil, so 15 centimeters between sides on the actual railway when they're laying tracks, but I don't know. But if anybody's got any advice, then please do add some comments below. So I've just been playing around here. You can see a couple of the locos I've got out. I've got my 800, got a couple of class 43s, and I've got a couple of bits and pieces running freight. The EWS wagons, they work perfectly all right with that 37. The car transporter ones, I think they call them STAs, that is having, actually no, that runs, they do actually run reasonably well. The ones that I was having a problem with, which is not on here at the moment, are the Bachmann freight movers, the ones which got the big cargo containers on. That is continuously derailing. I think that might be something to do with my KDs that I've got on there. Because I'm limited to space, I do need to really be able to disconnect them quite easily. These, as you might be able to see, have got the KDs in and then use the closed couplings there, so they're paired up. I've just ordered from West, whatever they're called. I'll put the URL on the screen. I've just ordered some of these magnetic couplings, which are, I've got one somewhere, which, like these, if you can see that, I've ordered some of these which are specifically designed for the Bachmann cargo wagon thingy bobs, so that's all good. I've realised that I've got a bit too many of these in certain numbers. I'm missing, I think, coaches B and E, rather annoyingly, and I did have a rather large derailment around here. I was actually pushing the class 43, so the motor engine was at the end, and as it came round, it basically all came off. And luckily, one of the jobs I did in April, you can just about see it, is I put a little bit of a perspex barrier, the perspex screens that I had around my old layout, which is temporary to stop the trains diving. And if you can probably see, that would be a significant drop. It's about 92 meters in scale size, that cliff edge going down. So that did actually save it as they went all over and had a massive derailment just around here. So, but one thing that did happen that I found quite interesting, this connection just here, which is the really horrible, let me just, well, it's these. I haven't got one, but they've got these odd looking clips. Let me just see if I can get a better light. They've got some really odd looking clips on them, and I'm just trying to see what I've got. they've got these little prong, I just can't, I've been trying to make some 3D prints of it. Anyway, I found out that you can actually pull these out and the cover pops off. Let me show you. So this is the offending end. This is a bit violent, but it does actually pop off like so. These have got little clips here. So if I can just show you, this is what actually happened. This whole thing popped off and I lost the coupling. I didn't lose it. And you might be able to just see there that there is a little circle. Now, I was having a right problem. I was trying to make this in a 3D rendered version, and to be honest with you, I've not had much success. They've got a little bit of movement to them, and I thought, okay, that might be useful, but I couldn't. It's got a little bit of a spring to it. I couldn't get it to work, and as it turns out, let me just see if I can zoom in on that a little bit more. As it turns out, there is a little bit. So I'm thinking now, I can actually build this with a magnet on the end, and rather than having it go in there, I can literally just design it so there's a hole in the center. So it's just a basic square connection, hole straight on. Job would be a good one. I guess there's that actually's got. Actually, I don't know how that clips on then, because when you clip it in there, it must push around that. Yeah, goes like that. So I reckon I can just make something which has got a slightly bigger hole on it, and it would put it in place. Now I've got access to it. So that's yeah, rather useful little thing. I think I shall give that a shot at some point on the old 3D printer if I can get it to print properly. I have gone off and just got from Merg some holders, and they're just laser cut wooden holders just to hold my controllers, because I was forever putting them on the edge and knocking them off, and then they would all ding, 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 like that, and away you go. So that's a bit of a result. Oh, and for those who are Merg people, I did the classic issue. I wired up my high and low the wrong way around. So when I first powered it on, I couldn't get the FCU to work, and this didn't do its start up, and the reason was because obviously, although the buttons here worked and controlled everything in this direction, everything from this bit on didn't work, although I could control the trains using the Wi-Fi throttle. And it confused me, and I thought, well, the only thing I've done recently is I've added that in, and right, okay, well, sorted that one. So anyway, that is what I have done so far in April 2021. I have dug out a couple of these lava. These are the TrainTech Signals, and those packs, they look like these. I no longer need these, so these will be going on to eBay shortly so that I can move them on, because although I'm not sure how I'm going to signal this, I don't need those with built-in DCC accessory decoders. I'm going to use normal ones anyway. So that's it. That's the whole of the April update, which was basically just putting track and being able to actually finally run something after nearly a year and a half of building a garage layout. I should mention the reason why the temporary loop is here. I am just waiting for a double slip, which is going to go around about there, which allows me then to put rolling stock into what will be my freight yard, which would be really nice. But again, Pico stuff is quite difficult to get hold of due to the pandemic that has occurred. So for those of you watching this in 2024. The reason why the progress is so slow is because of the COVID pandemic. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this small and short update. I hope you've enjoyed all the other videos that I've got. Thank you for those who comment. I do try to get back to you on those. And a lot of the times it is brilliant because it's got so much good information. So thank you once again for taking the time to watch the videos. And if you're not a subscriber, please do. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. And I hope to progress the layout more when everything arrives. Again, thanks very much. See you again. Bye.